I personally believe, even if it takes a change in the law, the president should honor the commitment the federal government made to those people and let them keep what they got.
All right, that was a Fox News alert because that is former President Bill Clinton, of course, on a promise that he thinks President Obama should keep.
The president saying the current president should let Americans keep their health care plans. What about that? Jonathan Colegio is a Republican strategist and director of communications for American Crossroads. Richard Fowler, radio show host of the Richard Fowler Show. Gentlemen, good day to both of you. I'm going to defer to my lovely co-anchor here and allow her to interrogate both of you.
I love these intros. Thank you very much, Bill. All right, so, Jonathan, let me start with you. For the past few weeks, as you know, Republicans in Congress have been calling for bills, proposing bills, so that President Obama could fix his broken promise of if you like your plan, you keep your plan. Now that President Clinton, the Democratic torture, basically has called for it, is it time for President Obama to do something?
Well, look, if there's one thing that President Clinton is good at, it's reading polls. And I'm sure you saw the Rasmussen poll this morning that showed that 74% of Americans believe that you should be able to keep your health insurance if you like your health insurance. The problem is that solution that President Clinton is proposing here doesn't really exist. Once these plans are canceled, it's not clear that they can be recreated. So where the focus needs to be is on delaying the bill for a couple of years, going through and methodically figuring out how it's going to harm people, as it already has, and dismantling the worst parts of that law first. That's where the focus should be.
Richard, what did you think of this when you heard Bill Clinton talk this way?
Well, you know, I got to tell you, I think Bill Clinton has always been a good old honest Bubba, and I think, you know, to some extent, Jonathan is right. You know, there's a lot of people who lost their plans, and we've got to find a way to fix it. But delaying is not how you fix it. A lot of these plans will not come back because these plans were subpar and did not include all the benefits that currently exist in the Affordable Care Act.
How do you fix it? How do you fix it?
Well, how you fix it is by making sure, fixing the website, beyond fixing the website, making sure you're communicating to the American people how they can get enrolled in a policy that meets the standards of the Affordable Care Act, that increases everybody's health care coverage all across the country, and how they get to the website, how they get engaged. There's no question there's problems with the website. The White House has to fix that, but it's about communicating how they get a better plan.
But that doesn't fix the broken promise, Richard. That doesn't fix the broken promise that if you like your health care plan, you can keep it. And some of these plans, Jonathan, are becoming more expensive for people.
No, that's true. I mean, like I said, the three main promises of this law were that if you like your health care, you could keep it, that costs would go down, and that everyone would be covered. And we know that all three of those promises are false. The thing about Bill Clinton that's really interesting, though, is that, I mean, I always try to figure out what his angle is and things like this. I mean, it's not like he just went up to the president and punched him in the chin for no reason. Right?
Is he reading the public? Is he a midterm election 11 months away?
I think a couple of things here. First, remember that he was out there actively campaigning with the president back in September, trying to get people to enroll for this thing, and it didn't work. Only 55,000 people are enrolled for this thing. But I think what the real reason is here is that, look at his wife, Hillary Clinton. If she runs for president in 2016, she's going to own this law. She's going to have to run on it, and I think that this is a way of creating some daylight between the Clintons and a law that is increasingly becoming radioactive with independent voters.
Richard, what do you think about that? Is that the motivation for Bill Clinton to speak out about it?
I don't think at all. I think the motivation for President Clinton is to make sure that Americans get health care. I think him and Hillary fought for this in the early 90s, and they're going to continue that fight. He fought for it in September, and we haven't, like Jay Carney said a couple moments ago, we don't know what the official enrollment numbers are. There's no question enrollment's going to downtick because there's issues with the website. But let's have a real conversation here, and every time there's a massive rollout of anything, there's always issues, there's always technical problems. Think
Not
about
like
it.
this, Richard.
No, wait a second. When the Facebook IPO came out, Wall Street shut down for a couple of minutes because they had technical glitches.
I mean, that was a couple of minutes. I mean, now we're a month and a half down the road.
Hey,
Listen, gentlemen, there are two other things that Bill Clinton said today that we haven't even talked about. One is that low-income young people are finding themselves at greater odds now of getting bad insurance, is what he talked about today. And the other thing he talked about is that young people are still balking at expensive coverage for things that they don't need. And that comes back to the fundamental issue about the 10 things that insurance covers are mandated to carry. And that's why you see 5 million with individual policies canceled already. To be continued. Richard, thank you. Jonathan, thanks to you as well. There's going to be a lot of parsing of this language from Bill Clinton and what he said a bit earlier today. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.